Hi, it's Eben Pagan. I've built 10 different businesses and brands that have done over $1 million in sales online. And I'm the creator of the Virtual CEO Training Course. Something new is happening in business right now. Something that has never happened in business before. People around the world are turning themselves into what I call virtual CEOs and leaving office life forever. They're building their own businesses online and living what I call the virtual CEO lifestyle. And like me, they're launching and building 6- and 7-figure businesses from wherever they are, whenever they choose to. What's fueling this trend is the rise of online entrepreneurship. It's people who are starting their own online businesses, and it's the emergence of niche online businesses, where for the first time, you can make very specialized products and services succeed as businesses online, because for the first time, you can reach your potential customers all over the world. And you can do it all from one place. You can do it from your computer. Now, in this first video, you're going to learn about my approach to building and growing a virtual business that allows me to live and work and play from wherever I want in the world. I'm also going to share with you the 7 pillars that you must put in place to build your own powerful, successful virtual business, and my formula for building a strong, stable, scalable business in a consistent, predictable way. And hopefully, I can inspire you to leave the old way of doing things and start building and enjoying the virtual CEO lifestyle. As I mentioned, I've now built 10 different brands and online businesses to the $1 million in sales mark, 4 of them now going over $10 million in sales. I've sold over $100 million worth of products and services online, and after a lot of work to figure out the formula for how to launch and scale up an online business, I've created a curriculum of programs that teach you to do the same thing. Now, I was very successful building online businesses before I decided to build a curriculum to teach what I had learned to others. And as I built my businesses, the thing that people kept asking me about was, from home? You really do all of this from home? And even when I started teaching entrepreneurs how to build successful companies, the very successful ones would say, and your business is completely virtual? And I'd always tell them, yes, 100% virtual. We've never had an office. Now, I'm sure that you're already familiar with the idea of a virtual company and of living this new lifestyle that I'm talking about. You've probably seen others doing it. You probably have a business that maybe you're running online, or you want to transition online, or you're building a business or launching a business that you'd like to build it right? You'd like to build it right from the beginning so you can really make this happen in your own life. Now, there are as many dangers and ways to do this wrong as there are ways to do it right. And the tragedy that we want to avoid is you investing the time, the energy, and the money to do this, and then wind up creating something that just becomes an attention suck. But whether you've got a 6- or 7-figure business now and you want to scale up while at the same time getting more freedom and an upgraded lifestyle, or maybe you have a side business or a hobby business that has a lot of potential and you want to turn it into a real high-growth, high-profit company, or even if you're just starting, you just launched your business and you want to get the best tools for building your virtual business in a way that gives you more security and more options right from the beginning, this is where to start, and these videos will give you valuable tips that you can use immediately. What we're going to learn here is the core of my intensive training course called the Virtual CEO. So you understand the tools and techniques you need to learn to make this happen in your life and business, and you can start doing it immediately. And once you see how powerful these methods are in these first few videos, I know you'll want to join me for the rest of the program. Now, before we talk about business tactics, I want to show you something. The reason why it's so important that you take what I'm saying seriously and why it's so important that you do this now to build your business and design a business that really supports your life. The reality is, business and how business is conducted is changing at a rapid pace. Now, I'm fascinated by how fast things are changing right now in business, and I firmly believe that every scary change creates a new opportunity. Every technology development creates an entire new world of opportunity for us entrepreneurs. Now, here are some of the places where I see the most change happening and the places where the biggest opportunities lie now and in the future. And here's the first one. We're all becoming time poor. Here's an article about a study that shows that we now have an attention span that is 1 second shorter than the average goldfish. Okay, next, we have more and more insecurity about our business lives, our careers, our jobs, and this leads to insecurity about growing our businesses or even starting a business in the first place because we think that the rules are the same, right? And that building our business is more risky than just continuing to do what we're doing. But think about this. Some estimates are that up to 80% of all jobs will be automated in the coming years, okay? Automated by technology and robots and artificial intelligence. 80%. At the same time, in America, where I live, and other places, there are now more new businesses being started than ever before, and more virtual businesses being started than ever too. We're also seeing the rise and prevalence of digital products, the value of information, and the birth of a completely digital economy, where digital money is exchanged for digital products instantly online. By the way, this digital product business, this is the model that I use to run my virtual businesses, which we'll get into later in these videos as well. At the same time, people are also really just starting to realize how valuable their lives are and how valuable their time is. They want to get out of the rat race and into the lifestyle that they want and stop working to build someone else's dream and start building their own. And finally, we're starting to realize that each of us can actually make a difference in the world and make a unique impact. And we want to free up our time and our attention to do something serious with our lives. As you can see, this is a time of almost unbelievable change and, of course, opportunity. It's also a time of almost unbelievable fear and confusion. Many people are so overwhelmed with the change that they're just putting their heads in the sand and hoping that when they look again, everything will be okay. But again, the good news is that usually the biggest challenges in life present the biggest opportunities, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, especially if you can get ahead of the curve. And this is why I believe that the virtual CEO lifestyle is the only real viable way to create the security and the freedom that people like you and me really want. Now, hopefully, you've already started to see real benefits of building and growing a business so that it's fully virtual, so it's able to run and grow independently if needed, and so that it truly fits your life and gives you more life. But building a business doesn't happen overnight. Okay, if you start with the mindset of building a virtual business, okay, one that you can run from anywhere, that's specifically designed to fit around and support your lifestyle, you've already started with a huge advantage. Again, I call it the virtual CEO lifestyle. And whether you have a business and you want to use it as the vehicle to build your dream lifestyle, or you want to start your next business to do it, I want to show you a picture of what it looks like to have a healthy virtual business set up and running and how it can completely change the way you live, and why I believe that it's really the only viable way to achieve both freedom and security today. So again, the words virtual CEO lifestyle. It's virtual. Okay, it's a successful business that's virtual, so you can run it from anywhere. This is the innovation that the internet has brought to everyone, everywhere. Next is CEO. And whether we realize it or not, we're all CEOs. Okay, you are the CEO not only of your business, but also of your life. And it's your job to bring in the money and then make sure it's invested in the right places to give you more life. Now, I don't even use titles in my company, okay? People don't get titles. But if you're going to succeed, you need to have the mindset that you are the CEO. You have to take control. You're the one that has to do this. And then finally, lifestyle. And by using the term lifestyle, we move the emphasis from the business to our lives. Okay, from living our lives for the business to building a business that gives us more life. A business that gives us the lifestyle that we want because it was designed that way to do it from the beginning. And what I like the most about this virtual CEO lifestyle is that it gives you the security of your own business and the freedom of running it virtually. Security comes from having the financial advantage that you get from owning a business that grows and produces value for you. And the freedom comes from transitioning it or designing it initially so that it's all run and managed online. So again, you can be anywhere and do it anytime you want. So let me take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into what my life is like. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, as they say. I'm the child of hippie parents. I grew up out in the woods of rural Oregon. I hear that there was someone rich and important back in my ancestors somewhere. My cousin was telling me that, 500 years ago, I think someone was a duke or something and probably rich. But it definitely wasn't anyone that I knew in my family, and it wasn't anyone within the last, 10 generations. I dropped out of high school and then I dropped out of my local community college to go on tour with a rock band, of course. I didn't make more than $10 an hour until I was in my mid-20s. My parents used to brag that the rent for our little house out in the woods was $100 a month. And I think it was $100 a month for, almost 20 years. But I wanted more for myself and I wanted more for my life. So I started trying different business ideas. Most of them didn't go anywhere, but each one taught me something different about business. Now, at this point it was trial and error learning, which is very inefficient. And in my case, it lasted for many years. But I kept learning something new each time I tried a new business. And I also noticed something, as I was studying business and success, I noticed that the successful people in business seemed to have this common pattern. I started noticing that they had this group of skills that I now call the money-making skills in business. So I paid attention to those. And finally, I got to the point where I had accumulated a set of skills, a set of ingredients, and I put them together and I started my first real virtual business. And it all started with a book that I wrote of dating advice that I started selling online. And, my first few months, I'd just sell a book or two here and there. I didn't really have much time to work on the different things that I needed to do in order to grow my business because it was just me. But by the end of the first year, I had done $150,000 in sales. Then the next year I scaled up, I reinvested in my business, I reinvested my profits, and I tripled my business. And I kept doing this year after year until I had a multi-million-dollar per year business selling many different products and services online. The key for me was that I believed that it was possible to learn this stuff. I believed it was possible to learn. And that has been a guiding principle for me in my life. If I'm not getting what I want in a particular area, in my life somewhere or my business, it's just time to go and learn a new skill, to go get that new skill. So when I ran into a challenge or something I didn't understand, I would go learn how to do what I needed to do to get to the next level. And while we're on the topic of learning new things, here's a little tip, that's helped me build my business extremely fast. When learning something new, you don't have to learn everything that there is to know on a topic. You don't have to become like a super expert about it. It's actually counterproductive to do this. And it's a reason why many people get so overwhelmed when they're trying to learn about business. In my experience, you just need to learn that key 20% that brings you the 80% of results. That's what you want to focus on. And inside the virtual CEO training, I've distilled everything down to just the essentials that you'll need to know to succeed. And I really do think of problems in life as opportunities to learn something new and something valuable. And each of these challenges that I had led me to learn a new skill that ultimately came together, in the business that I own that funds the life that I'm living. I've worked from home for well over 10 years now. Every business that I've started since my first virtual business has been online, it's been virtual, to make sure that it stays that way. I work when I feel most creative and most motivated, and I do the work I enjoy the most and that produces the most value. I've also systemized most of the time-consuming things in both my business life and my personal life in order to free up time. I've been ruthless about that. From booking my phone appointments, to making my little daily vitamin packs, to doing my bookkeeping, from getting traffic for my business, to hiring superstars to help grow the companies. Again, there's systems for everything, and I don't do most of them anymore. And the benefit of doing it this way is that I also have sought out the most interesting experts in each area that I become interested in, and then interviewed and often collaborated with them to really learn at a deep level. In fact, in the Virtual CEO program, you'll hear interviews with many of these super geniuses. I now live in my dream home, and it's set up exactly the way I want it. Some people are country types who like to vacation then in the cities. Some people are city types who like to vacation in the country. Maybe it's because I grew up spending most of my time in the backwoods of Oregon out in the country that I tend to enjoy living most of the time now in the city and then taking long vacations and going to the country. But that's just me, You might want to do it differently. And surprisingly to most people, I have a very introverted side to me. I need a lot of time alone in order to feel my best. I take alone days every week, and once a month, I try to take an entire alone weekend to just recharge and relax and think about how to take my life and my business to the next level. And by the way, my family and I, we also travel more than half of the year. In this past year, as I make this video right now, we traveled in Europe for a few months. We traveled all over the United States. We visited New Zealand for 2.5 weeks. And in past years before that, we've been all around the world, all while my businesses ran smoothly and ran like a clock. Okay, not everything is perfect, of course, but I can honestly say that this works better than I would have imagined that it could. And all this traveling, okay, it's given me another benefit as well. It's given me an incredibly valuable perspective on the world and taught me so much about the way people work, the way they think. And because a large portion of my business comes from other countries around the world, I believe that it's an advantage to do this so I can better understand what will be valuable for people and cultures that I'm not yet familiar with. Of course, my family also benefits in a lot of ways from my business and the flexibility that I have. I have date night with my wife most nights, and I spend as much time as I want with my daughter and my family. My relationship is, it's beyond what I imagined was possible, and I have to thank my business for the flexibility and the security and the freedom to have this opportunity. As I mentioned, I'm a pretty introverted person. Okay, my hobbies are things like, playing my guitar or collecting and looking at art, often by myself, studying eclectic spiritual traditions and ideas. And even though this stuff isn't what, maybe normal people would be doing, it's what I want to do. And it's particularly valuable to be able to do the things that I enjoy in my life when I want to do them. Over the past several years, I've taken up investing in technology startups, which has been not only valuable in terms of making money, but also in learning terms. I get to invest in great ideas and in people who are doing big things in the world. And in fact, most of my business activity and my teaching, including making this video right now, has an end purpose of finding and attracting more high-performing people who I can eventually meet and then ultimately invest in and partner with in business. My best investments and partnerships have resulted from working with people who knew my methods and who then wanted to work with me long-term. I also get to help a lot of people. Okay, I never imagined that I'd be living a life where I could raise money for charities, help people who are in need in different parts of the world. I'm no Bill Gates, but sending money to help a community build a well, or help build a school, or helping educate people who would never have had the chance. These are important projects, okay, and they're a blessing to be involved in. And I intend to be a lot more involved in contribution works in my life. Now, as you listen to this, it might also sound like I'm pretty busy, okay, which I am. When I was younger, I used to believe that success was basically having enough money to never have to do anything again. And I've spent a lot of time doing nothing because that's what I thought you were supposed to do when you became successful. But now I realize that this idea of never having to do anything, okay, or never working, it's really a myth, okay, and that we humans, we're actually not happy if we're not doing the things that we love to do in our lives. The difference is that while it's busy, my life is now filled with the things that I enjoy doing, okay, which even makes the more challenging and difficult times of my life easier because I know that enjoyable activities and fun things are right around the corner. I have several businesses now, I have many investments, and lots of relationships with fascinating people. And again, it sounds like a lot to juggle, but when you start seeing that there are people around me helping to support me by handling the different parts of the business and to maintain and grow it, you start to see that it's not me doing most of the work, okay? And it starts to make a lot more sense. Which, by the way, is one of the reasons why I've made one focus, okay, of this training about finding super high quality people who are trustable and trustworthy, who are both consistent and predictable, who can run and build your business and support your life. Okay, it's been years since I had to do most of the activities in my businesses myself, which is how I've been able to build a lifestyle where I can travel 6 months or more per year. My life is now easier, it's more predictable than when I was building my business because of the team, because of the people who support me. And this is the beautiful thing about this virtual CEO lifestyle we're talking about. Okay, it brings you the security from the profitable business and the freedom and the flexibility to work when and where you want. Now, it's definitely not for everyone. And you have to be of a certain kind of fundamental wiring to really want this for yourself. And you have to be willing to do this with your life and build this kind of business. But this is a real look into my life as it is right now. Okay, a life that, again, I didn't think was possible. And it's the reason why I'm also excited to show you how I've done this, so that you can take what I've learned and become your own virtual CEO and build your own ultimate virtual CEO lifestyle and do what you're here to do in this world. Now, at the heart of this lifestyle is the idea of who you are and what you do in your business, okay? The idea of who you are. If you're going to change your results, then you have to change your mindset, okay? You have to change your ideas about the way business works. Now, I use this term, the virtual CEO lifestyle, so it has a name, but there are a few key elements that you have to design in as you build it. Okay, so as I said, it's virtual, so it can be run from anywhere. You're the CEO, so your job is helping the business bring in money and then invest in the best growth opportunities. And it's a lifestyle, meaning that your life is the priority and the business is here to support it. And this is how you get both the security that comes from owning the business and the freedom that comes from the virtual CEO lifestyle. So think about it. How are you going to really do what you want to do with your life and go where you want to go if your business isn't systemized, automated, and running virtually? Okay, but you have to get serious if you want to turn your business into a lifestyle maximizing machine. And you need the formula and the systems to do it. All right, so now let's zoom in and talk about what building the virtual CEO lifestyle looks like. Okay, in the virtual CEO program, we build 7 pillars in your business, in your life. I want to send a thank you to Jay Abraham for the metaphor of the Parthenon, okay, or the multiple pillar approach to building a business. The Parthenon, it's that famous ancient temple in Greece that has the row of beautiful columns or pillars that hold up the structure. Now, I think of this approach as a profit Parthenon for your business and your life. And when you put these 7 pillars in place, okay, you learn about the power of leverage, okay, and the power of multiplication, the power of compounding, the power of building something that's intentionally designed to put you and your life first, to give you more life, to give you more power, to give you more choice. Okay, so the first pillar is productivity. We need to get rid of distractions and get a lot more done in less time. And we need to get back our time to do the highest value money-making activities and take high quality, big chunks of time on vacation to relax, to rejuvenate. It's counterintuitive, but you actually become far more productive when you take more time doing the things that relax you and the things that you love to do. But you must learn the systems and the tools that you need to make this happen, because there are so many things now competing for your attention in business and in your life right now. Right? So make productivity important. Learn how to become super productive. It's a big deal and it pays off. The second pillar is your product or your service. So speaking of what to do with some of that freed up time, let's talk about your product or your service. Okay? The thing that customers come and give you money for. We must redesign and tweak your product to be irresistible to your customers, okay? Which means that you must get to know your customers in a new way. You have to create what I call a customer avatar or a persona of your ideal customer, and then build your product or service specifically for them. And then further, you must go on to understand what I call your customer influencer, or the person who influences your customer most, so you can really get into the psychology of why your customer is buying. And you must release that all-important next product and build what I call the graduation model in your business. Okay, so your customers have something to buy next and something to buy next. To succeed, you must have a product path that your customers can take to get more and better results. Okay, so your third pillar is your marketing. Now, I define marketing as communication that gets customers. But it's a very specific way of communicating with people where you're only talking about 2 things. You're talking about your customers' inner motivations, their needs, their drives, and you're talking about how your product or service helps them get those fulfilled. Okay, and there are a set of steps to do this. Now with business now migrating online, okay, we have to take a new approach to marketing. We have to stop thinking of marketing as like a one-shot deal and start thinking of it as the process of building a business relationship with an individual person. Okay, that's what marketing becomes, building a relationship using automated tools. And then you scale it up so that many or thousands or even millions of people can go through that personalized experience. By the way, in our third video, I'm going to give you some tactics to really improve your marketing and help you get more paying customers. All right, so our fourth pillar is the growth of your business, the scaling up of your business. Okay, now to grow and scale up and make sure that it's stable and predictable, you must attract superstar A players to run and build your business and build it with you and build it for you. Again, this has been a super game changer for me. As I've added each new type of team member, I've had work taken off my plate. I've had new superpowers added to my business. Hiring someone to, let's say do customer service. That freed up, in the beginning, it freed up 20 hours a week of my time. Hiring someone to start getting traffic and to build my list, that was transformational. Hiring someone to get more affiliate partners, that changed the game too. You get the idea. You must grow and scale, and it's important to install systems and people to do it. Now, your fifth success pillar is your mastermind. Napoleon Hill, the author of the famous success Bible, Think and Grow Rich, he said that no great success is possible without the power of the mastermind. So what's a mastermind? It's a small group of people who are all committed to helping each other succeed. Again, no great success is possible without it. And the best mastermind is going to be the one that you build. Now, fortunately, people have been figuring out how to do this for a while. I've now, put in about 20 years working on it and developing experience for it. And I've created a set of powerful systems and tools to do it. You have to start by getting the absolute best of the best, okay? By networking your way into and then contributing to the best people. Now, I just started a new mastermind about a month ago, and it has already had a huge impact on me, and I can feel the impact that it's going to have on the future of my business. The mastermind principle is so important that when I'm starting a new project in my life, whether it's a personal passion project or a business project, right, I usually start out asking who should be in the mastermind. Okay. Now, again, we'll talk more about some techniques for doing this in our next videos, but that's the fifth pillar. It's your mastermind. It's an absolute must if you're going to do this. Your sixth pillar in your profit Parthenon is money and wealth. It turns out that there's a formula for building wealth, and it goes far beyond just getting some money. Okay, once your virtual business becomes successful and profitable, then you must invest those resources wisely in the right assets that grow in value and that throw off more value to you. As you've probably seen in your own experience, getting money, doesn't usually lead to keeping money. Now, whether this is, in business or it's in your personal life, money tends to find a way to escape from most people, even after they get it. Now, I've studied the lives and habits of many self-made wealthy business people. I know a whole bunch of self-made millionaires, and they have common denominator mindsets and habits which most people don't have that really make the difference here. It is critical that you educate yourself about money and how it works and how wealth is built if you're going to create your own virtual CEO lifestyle. And this leads to our seventh pillar, which is lifestyle and learning. And this is where things really start to become fun. When you actually start designing the virtual CEO lifestyle that you want and learning the tools and systems to build your virtual business to give it to you, then you can step up to the future that you deserve. And this is the part that can completely change your life. Learning becomes a lot more fun when you can see it connecting directly to the growth and success of your business, which then connects directly to the growth and success of your lifestyle. You've probably heard that knowledge is power. As you build this life that you want, it's important to study others who have done it so you can just skip the years of trial and error. Look at my life. Look at what I've learned in business. Look at the lives of others who are living the way that you want to live. I make a habit of always interviewing successful people who have achieved what I want to achieve in my own life and business. Lifestyle and learning, they go hand in hand, and they are critical if you want to create this and make it a reality for yourself. So those are the 7 pillars in your profit Parthenon, the productivity, your product or service, your marketing, your growth, your mastermind, money and wealth, and then lifestyle and learning. Now, what's really interesting about these 7 pillars, about these 7 areas of business and of business growth, is that when you start adding them together, when you start stacking them, they actually start increasing each other. They multiply each other. Maybe you've seen an exponential growth curve, with all the growth coming at the end. As you add each of these pillars into your business, what you're going to see is it acts like a staircase, right? And it steps up that exponential growth curve. They start combining and they start multiplying each other. And you find, just like an exponential growth, as you add each of those final pillars, that's when you get most of the value. That's when you really see the synergy of how each of these pieces work together. And when you take these 7 pillars, when you combine all 7 of them and you get all of them running in your business, that's when something emerges beyond them. That's when something transcends. That's when you get the business and the lifestyle that you're after. So now that you're clear about what a successful virtual business looks like and how it can help you create this unique virtual CEO lifestyle that you want to build, the next question is, how do the pieces fit together? And in our second video, we're going to go deeper and I'll explain some of the most valuable steps that I took and teach you the key lessons that I learned that can help you avoid the pitfalls, avoid the trial and error, and grow your business much more intelligently and much more profitably. In this next video, by the way, it's critical because it gets to the heart of what you need to do in order to really grow your virtual business fast, because if you can't grow, then you're going to become demotivated or worse, you're going to quit. So what do you need to do to really grow fast? And how do all the pieces fit together? Join me for our second video and I'll show you more and I'll show you how I did it. I'll show you how I grew my business from zero to crossing my first $100,000, then $1 million, then 10 million and beyond, and how I built these 7 pillars in my own business so you can model what I've done in yours. Okay, are you inspired to go virtual and live the virtual CEO lifestyle? Good. Leave me a comment below, tell me that you're going for it, and then make sure to tune into our next video where I'm going to show you how I did this in my business and how you can take the first step to doing it with your business. I'll see you then.